All right, Stan, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Like I said, with Restream, we get a little bit of audio out, but, never trust the computer. So it's nice to get that actual, hey, we're here and we can hear you. We appreciate that. So, yeah, it's Thursday night. We had to kind of change the script up a little bit. We had things to do when you have guests come in from big organizations that want to talk to Erie folks. And of course, it's during my show. There are, thank you, sir. Appreciate that. There are things that we have to kind of like talk about. And we have to go, well, do we make a compromise? So we had visitors up the Penn State Barron, which was we had about 100 people show up. Wow. I saw this thing. Hang on a second. I got Dave calling in already. Hang on. Yes, sir.
Hey, Brian. What's going on, brother?
How you doing, sir?
I figured I'd call you right at the beginning of the show. You know how that goes.
Well, that's okay, but you need to turn your radio down just a little bit. I can hear you.
It's down. It's down.
Thanks, my friend. So how's Erie treating us these days? I saw that picture.
Brother.
I saw
the mayor's got everything under control.
Yeah, I tell you what, I saw that photograph of the portable shitter in the middle of State Street. I don't know if that's art reflecting life or life reflecting art. I don't know.
I don't know if that was Photoshop or what that was. I seen that myself.
I don't think it was. I think it was a real deal because, they were talking about on the Natalie show today, and they're like, "Do you think that was Photoshop?" And I don't think it was. But if it was, a picture says 1,000 words, and I'm going to leave it at that.
Wow. Well, I see that watching a city council meeting the other day, there was a whole slew of. Well, it all started with Mr. Well, I can't really. I don't know if I can't say Mr. I guess it's there. I guess I'm going to use the proper terminology.
Yeah, you got to be careful.
It all started with Tyler Titus.
Oh,
is that proper?
Just call him council person.
No, there's got to be certain. You got to use certain pronouns. There, them, they, there, or them.
Yeah, I don't.
So I'm going to use there, Tyler Titus. Can't say Mister. Can't say him. There, Tyler Titus. He brought up the resolution. This is very important stuff here in Erie. This is an Erie issue.
Sure.
The Gaza issue.
Totally get that. And, and it was fun to watch how the voting went. The new lefties went for it, and the more conservative, reasonable Democrats didn't. So I could have called that one. I could have called that one because we know how they're going to be.
When that first went down, I was sitting at home and I read the article, and I'm thinking, let me guess who voted against that. I says, let's see. I'm thinking it would be Brzezinski,
yep,
Spoon, and Schaaf. And then I started, wait a minute. No, it wouldn't be Schaaf.
No.
I said, I'm thinking it's got to be Troop. So
yeah.
I looked it up, and my correction was correct.
Well, you're a smart guy, and you got your finger on the pulse, and and I get that. And that's exactly what they've done. They've hijacked city council. They've got the left can do whatever they want. They've got the 4 votes. That's exactly what they wanted to do on county council, so the left can do whatever they want. And they are going to be the ones in charge of the voter election next year. Oh, this year. Sorry. Yeah, we're getting ready for it. So guess what? We got a bunch of lefties overseeing the Board of Elections. Ridiculous.
Absolutely. And that's why I stay a Democrat. I know you always want me to switch to the Republican Party, but yeah, if I lived in a county, I probably would. But seeing how I'm in the city here, I have to stay as a Democrat, because this way, normally in the city, there's not too many Republican candidates running for any position. So I have to vote in the primaries for the Democrat that's going to cause the least amount of damage to
Good
the
point.
city.
That's a good tactic. I get it.
Yeah, that's why I do that. I can't switch to the Republican Party. Come general election, though, I can't vote for a Democrat, period.
Well, I know where you live, and I won't mention that. I drive by your house, and I see that tree that's almost cut up, and I see the flag back. I saw that.
Yeah, well, that flag is down right now because of that windstorm. It broke my the holder on the tree. So
Oh no!
come springtime, I'm going to wait a couple more days, maybe till spring, and then I'm going to put the old Trump 2024 flag back up. It's going to be this time. It's going to be a lot more solid. It's going to be on a wooden flag staff.
There you go.
So the wind, even if it is windy, it's not going to really affect it. But yeah, I was sort of cheap, sort of like a Democrat, and I had a plastic holder and everything. It lasted for a while till that one big windstorm we had, and it just broke the plastic deal. So I took the flag down. It's in the house, and I'll put it up come spring.
Oh, that's good. Like I said, well, that happens when you buy those Chinese-made little brackets. They're made by.
Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah, it was this one, but the bracket that I have is going to be a metal one this time.
There you go.
And it's going to be a wooden flag pole.
Value Home Center sells a metal bracket, and I used them when I was out at Campaign Trail, and I did on the trailer. They sell some metal ones. They're about $20, but I'm telling you, they're worth their weight in gold because I have never broken one. They got 4 holes in them. You can put 4 big screws into them. Yeah. So Value Home Center, come on, you're downtown, go to Krause's. They have them.
Yeah, they got them at Krause, but I have one now. I have it. I go to a lot of yard sales and I pick them up real cheap.
There you go.
Brand new. I see them brand new, and this one was it was a plastic one.
Right.
I figured out this would probably last, but no, the wind. It was a Democrat win, so it blew it down.
Yeah, that was we had some pretty bad storms out there, but yeah, no, I appreciate that. But like I said, I know where you live. I've seen it, so I know you've got it. So I know where your true heart is, sir.
Yeah. So, anyways, but yeah, that was a big deal with the Gaza. They all got up in front of council. That was a big city issue, about the ceasefire in Gaza.
Right.
And I'm sure that they once they passed that they passed that resolution. They're going to send they're going to send that resolution off there to all the American, the council, probably Kelly.
Look at me.
And maybe Fetterman, and maybe whatever his name is. I can't even think of his name anymore. The other senator.
Well,
but I also send mail. I sent emails to all the councilmen. I said, make sure that you send that to Bibi Netanyahu, and also send that resolution to the Hamas and the Houthis.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I'm sure when Bibi gets that resolution from Erie City Council, he's going to have a ceasefire immediately.
Oh,
seeing how it's coming from Erie City Council.
Well,
that has a lot of weight to it.
Sure, that resolution is about worth the paper it's written on, but it's typical Erie. Hey, look at us. We're the new council. We're ultra liberal lefties. We're going to go throw our nose into something that we have no say in, really. Who gives a crap what Erie, Pennsylvania, these 4 on city council care about a former? See, we're old enough to remember the PLO. These kids that are all smart and important, they don't remember the PLO, Palestine Liberation Organization, and they were terrorists. They took down airplanes. They kidnapped people. They were brutal. But here we are now. Everything's all fuzzy and warm and kittens. Now we're gonna stop the ceasefire. Well, Dave, I'm gonna come over to your house. I'm gonna punch you in your nose if I can reach up that high, and then I'm gonna run home. And then when you come over to kick my backside, scream foul. That's exactly what they did. Exactly what they did. They attacked Israel. Israel is nobody to mess with. They are some tough hombres. I know that's not the right way to say it, but they defended themselves, and they came down hard to send a message. You're not taking our people. You're not going to violate our sanctity. I don't think we should even be in the middle of it. But you know what? I got to go with saying Israel is defending themselves and they're putting a beat down on a bunch of terrorists. But here are little liberal colleges out there with their Palestine flags and, flying on U.S. soil. Yeah, well, you know what? Why don't you ultra liberals go spend some time in Palestine and see how much they like you? They don't.
Agreed. And the other thing I want to bring up is, well, I got two things real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
They did have a quick ceasefire, if you remember.
Right.
They did have it a couple. I don't know when it was, a month ago or so. And guess what? Guess who starts shooting rockets over into Israel? Come on.
I get it. You're preaching to the choir here. I'm looking at the chats in the chat room. I see Chris Phillips and, Glenn's here. Stan, everybody, thanks for coming in tonight. Brad Paganoff types in the Cleveland and Pittsburgh Jewish Times picked up the Palestine resolution. Well, of course they did, because Erie is so important, but it's so stupid to even get involved in it, but watch this. County council will sit back and watch and see how much fodder it creates. And I bet you'll see one. Hi, Greg.
Oh, yeah. One more quick thing,
Go
and
ahead.
I'll get off.
Bring it on, brother. Bring it on.
What do you think about Mr. Davis giving a little elbow to the fotch?
Oh, man. I saw that on the news. And, I said, I call bullshit. Brenneman is nothing but, and I got to be careful, because then I'll be picking on him because he's a veteran and he has post-traumatic stress disorder and he has ongoing COVID problems. But hey, he can go sit on be president of the school board and have a hate website and Facebook page. And then he wants to say that Brenton Davis elbowed him in the head. Show me the proof.
A little elbow to the fudge.
Yeah, I call bullshit. Everything out of that man's mouth is ridiculous. And I hope I love it because it happened out here at Harbor Creek.
Yeah.
That's PSP. They could give a crap who he is. He's not, they don't have nothing to do with the city. It's not like the city cops, or I'm not saying anything about the city cops, but hey, there's a little pressure they could put on the and the chief and everybody. It's all political. I get that. But I'm not picking on the cops. You wore a badge, I wore a badge. I get that. PSP gets to investigate it, and I cannot wait till they prove it false and Davis turns right around and charges him with falsifying a police report. That's my prediction.
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be good. But anyways, Ray, have a good. I'll be listening. I'm gonna hang up. Let somebody else get on.
Thanks, Dave. We always appreciate your call, man. I do.
Have a good one.
Bye.
All right, bye.
Yeah, Dave's a good guy. I met him at a at a Trump rally, and he is a what you call a gentle giant. I mean, he is a big man. And I won't put his private business out there, but trust me, he's worn a uniform before. But like I was saying, I didn't do my show last night because we were busy up at Penn State Barron. We had two great visitors with Captain Seth Kessel and Tony Shoup. You guys, I go to my Facebook page. Their QR code is on there. You can go grab all their information. Great patriots. They're trying to expose all the shenanigans that on with the elections. They follow the math. They follow the science on how these things actually work. So hang on, we got Kim Hunter calling in. Hang on. Hey, Kim.
Hey, Brian. I want to talk about Audit the Vote that we went to last night.
That's what I was just warming it up for. Good timing.
Oh, well, great minds think alike, so be scared.
Right?
I want to beg everybody out there, if you have the time, really, it's so important, especially with this election, because the Democrats are going to pull some more of their crap. Please consider to be volunteer to be an election of judges. It's so important we have some Republicans out there to represent us, and you get paid to do the job, which is fabulous.
Yeah. Hey.
And I want to beg people to do that.
Yeah, we got Gino just popped in here. That's pretty cool. But yeah, no, and this was a great source of information. There was some stuff I didn't agree with. Some stuff were like, well, that might be something that happened in Kentucky, but we've got, the proof's been stacking up saying, hey, we've caught these people and nothing's really been done. But the point is, we've talked about this. You can become a watcher. You can become a judge. We pay for these. We pay you to do these jobs. You know, we do a lot of stuff. We ask a lot of people to, hi, Corey, to do this stuff voluntarily. Like Kim said, we'll pay you. Now, are you going to be a millionaire at the end of the night? Absolutely not. But
No.
I'm telling you, you know I've talked about this before. I won't mention the lady's name. She's a Democrat. She comes down to the fishbowl. The fishbowl's where we do the official counting. She literally sits there with a chair with binoculars on and watches the poll workers. I mean,
Yeah.
come on. This is how tight the Democrats are watching. Now, if they see something, are they going to report it? Well, you betcha if they think it's something to do with a Republican, you betcha. So the point is, get involved. We have the power to control these things. But the problem is we've relinquished that power to the other side to let them do whatever they want. And you know what? We have to stop. I've been screaming into the microphones on Facebook, on the show for the last 5 years to actually get up and do something. Okay, I did it. I got up and did something. I ran for office. I was elected. I made some nice changes in Erie County, and I did a lot of things that I'm proud of. You know, but
Right.
unfortunately, the deep, dark Democrat DC money, they wanted me out of there because they wanted control of council, which controls the Board of Elections.
Right.
There's
And
the
it's
key.
really scary now because now we have somebody in charge of the Board of Elections who does not know the job. And that really scares me a lot. And we've seen them time and time again take control, not know the rules, and do the job the way they feel it should be done.
Oh, absolutely. You know, Stan just typed in here, hey, can you be a watcher if you're running for a position? Yeah, absolutely. Why can't you? I mean, you're on the committee, Republican committee, that has nothing to do with the actual election. So I don't see a
Right.
problem with it. You know,
I think you can't maybe not necessarily be at like we're all running for committee, so we might not be able to be a watcher necessarily at our poll. But
right,
like I think I can go to Harbor Creek, and Brian, I think you can go to Erie,
right.
so there's definitely a place we can go.
Oh, I totally agree. But Stan, that's a great point, and I appreciate it. You know, and Stan's the kind of guy that's it's a you ask him, he's going to do it, and he's a put up or shut up kind of guy. You know,
I love that. I
yeah,
love
and
that.
and that's exactly what we need, and that's exactly what we're getting. I am so excited. He was like, come in here, go bark, 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 growl, growl, growl. Hey, I'm proud of the people that have picked up a petition, running for committee, and you know what? We're going to change the direction. We are going to put up or shut up, and I'm not shutting up, so I'm putting up. So, and Kim, my
And
neighbor
I
and
love that.
Stan. We have a lot of people. We have a record amount of people running for committee person locally, and that's exactly what we need. It's not
And
for.
I would like to bring that up too, not
Go
to
ahead.
interrupt you, and
No,
I
no,
do
no. You're fine. You're
apologize for
fine. No,
that.
you're good. You're good. Go ahead. I got a drink.
And this is for all of your listeners out there. Guys, the job of the GOP chairman is to increase membership and to get people elected. And everybody out there, I know you guys are smart as a whip. I got some really interesting figures last night. Our membership is actually going down. We had almost close to 60 members, and we only have close to 48 people that got on committee that are running for committee positions this time. So our membership is actually going down, and I'm gonna call it. It's because of our current chairperson, and he did not get anybody elected last election. So I'm imploring all of you, please band with me. We need to get the bylaws changed back to basics, back to state bylaws, and please join in with me to getting Brian elected because one of the things they talked about at Audit the Vote was leadership. And we're not going to accomplish anything with great leadership. We've all seen him do it with county council, the only Republican to be nominated as county chair twice is Brian, and he's going to be the person to get us back on track. And Brian, I mean it. You know I love you and Brenda dearly. I think of you guys as family. But the truth is, they talked about leadership, and the only way we're going to get back on track is with Brian. And
I,
that's what I called
and
for.
I appreciate it. If it wasn't for the studio lights, you'd see that I was turning red with embarrassment because
Well, you should
you're
be.
just too kind.
Well, I'm not a kind person, and you know that. And I am very critical of people. But
Uh,
I got to say it between Tim, Kuzma, myself, and Brian, and some hard work by Michelle and Karen, We've really gone after chasing these ballots, and we have gotten over 1,000 since January. So it can be done. We need to form committees, and we need to get our people elected, and we need to find great candidates. We are ready to have some Republicans take over city council. People see what's going on. We need to get back control of county council, and we need to find somebody to run for mayor, because with Chuck Nelson running, come on, people, we know we can do better than that. We can take control of everything again. We have the numbers. It was shown to us last night. We have the numbers. We just got to get everybody that American spirit again, like we had during 9/11, and show people we don't need to give up. And I'm going to let you go on that, Brian. And great show. And thank you again, Brenda. Love you both. Bye.
Oh, hey, you're doing a great job. I'm just sitting here watching everybody text in the room, and they're agreeing with you. You know, Corey, thanks for stopping by. Rocky
Oh,
Nelson.
yes. And please vote for Corey and Nate and Tim Kuzma for delegate. That was my last one. And my Matt for. So I'll let you go.
Thanks.
Bye, Brian.
People say, elections have consequences, and they do. And look what happened when we have our state reps all Democrat controlled. Look what they did during our lockdown. They kept us locked down. They wouldn't let us go green. They then a year later, they're like, oh, sorry, we should have done that. So why are we going to let these people get a free walk? Why are we going to allow them to get away with telling you that you need to stay home? You need to lock down. You need to wash your hands. You need to wear a paper mask made in China. Why? Trust the science. Okay, we did trust the science, and it blew up in our faces. And even Governor Wolfie, after they interviewed him, they said, well, maybe I was a little heavy-handed with that. You think? You crushed Erie County's local economy. You crushed 30% of our small mom and pop shops. You deem them not worthy. Every business that opens that door in the morning and stays late at night is worthy. But those Democrats, Wolf, and those three that are in here, you got Mirsky, you've got Bizarro, and you got Harkins. They stayed right in step with the governor's Wolf. Boom, your business fails. No. It's time to send a message, boys and girls. I'm not saying your kids. I'm just saying we need to send a very clear message to these state reps that you did not represent us. You did not listen to us. And then what happened? Oh, hey, yeah, maybe you guys were right. Well, yeah, but we had no choice in the matter when you had the Gestapo, which is now the governor, which, I just blows my mind that they put Shapiro in charge because he kept us locked down. He had nuns arrested. The essence of our country, our freedom of religion, he had them locked up because they went to church. They went to church, got arrested, but you can burn a police car and be okay with that. Why is this message upside down and backwards? I don't know. I really don't know. I've tried to wrap my hand around it. Chris is, hey, Chris, I forgot to say hi to you. We can put up the left agenda not supported by the actual law court. Absolutely. Read Chris there. Follow Chris. Smart guy. I'm telling you, he can build you, anything you can imagine. He's a smart guy and really good with his hands, and actually has a pretty good head. And I don't want his head too big, all three of them need to go. They all three need to go. They kept this state commonwealth locked down illegally. They violated our civil rights. They violated our human rights. And they're just outside having a beer, having a good time now, like nothing happened. I remember what you guys did. I didn't forget. I didn't forget being on county council and people coming into council screaming bloody murder. Well, they didn't come in. We're on Zoom. That their businesses were crushed. They were shut down. They were locked down, and they were threatened. Greg Hayes and I, we were being a rebel. We went down to, where did we go? Corey. I think we went down to Corey for a nice lunch. One of the ladies down there owned a nice little mom and pop shop. Nice restaurant, had everything you can imagine. Greg and I, we drove down there, and she's like, "Where are you guys from?" Well, we're from Erie. Well, what are you guys doing down here? Supporting someone who's got the guts to stand up to these people and say, "No, it's my business, not yours." And then, the health department. I was a county councilman. Nothing against the health department. They were getting their marching orders from Kathy Delkemper. Of course. And what is she? She's an in-step Democrat that stepped right in there and turned around and paid the only county employees. You people, the peasants of Erie County, you didn't matter. But if you were a county worker, you got paid $650 to take a COVID shot of your tax dollars, of your ARPA money. And it was so funny. I saw all the money that they were spending. This money that Kathy it was like her own personal account. And I'm like, guys, this is wrong. This is dead wrong. And so I reached out to local media. I was a whistleblower. I was the one that broke that story to Erie News Now, and talked about how she spent over $30,000 of ARPA money on catered lunches. Catered lunches. Y'all lost your jobs, but they were eating catered lunches. Hi, Greg, you're live. Hey, Greg, you there?
How you doing there, sir?
Hey, yeah, I say your name, you call. Remember that nice little trip we took down to Corey to support the local business people that said, "Screw you, Governor. We're staying open."
Yep.
Good cheesecake, by the way. So what's going on in your neck of the woods?
I went through between Ryan Bizzarro constantly on my butt about not wearing a mask.
Yep.
I mean, he was just continually, you look back at it now and you just want to scream.
Oh, I totally agree with you. But here's the problem. Greg. You, me, the people in this room, the people who listen to this show, the people that aren't woke, that are waking up, need to stand up, stop being, and I've always said this, and they used it last night in their president, stop being the silent majority. Stop it. Because we're getting our asses kicked. And you know what? We need to send a clear message to these 3 state reps. You're out. You're out. Harkins spending however much money he spends on all his personal perks, it's bullshit. Bizzarro does the same thing. He's going to get killed this run anyway. So, go ahead.
I mean, it's funny when I ran against him in 2020, you talk to thousands and thousands of people, and I never ran into one that liked him.
No.
So where's this stuff come from? I mean, we did, astoundingly good, but nobody's, it's such a frustrating situation because obviously then they changed the district, so obviously there's no way I could run against them again.
Well, that's what they did out here at Harbor Creek. It was so disgusting. We had Kurt Sonny for 20 years representing us. He retires. They move the borders over. They gerrymander it. Now Mirsky takes over Harbor Creek, which draws off all the Democrats from the city. Thanks a lot. Gerrymandering 101.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, and then even like with the what used to be Kurt's district now. I mean, you got Gerard, you got Corey, and you got Northeast.
Yeah.
Most of them, that's almost like talking about a different state.
Well, yeah. The only advantage they really did is they gave Jake Banton an easy win. I mean, that was an easy win. There's a William. Hey, William, thanks for sharing that. Read his post. My younger brother had a vaccine injury, had to have a bypass in his leg due to the blood clots. I get that. That's not the first story. But like I said,
oh, God, no.
They put us, Greg and I were on a list, Brent and Dave was on a list. We were all on a list. We were the 25 most racist people in Erie County. And you know what? There was 2 requirements to be on that Ryan Bizzarro list that he denied, but I've got the proof. I've got the screenshots with his work cell phone. He was on his state cell phone calling people racist. I didn't like rap music. I hate rap music. And I don't like soccer. So I'm a racist?
Right.
Ridiculous. Then he denied it. Well, sorry, Charlie, we've got all your stuff. But this is the crap they do to us. And then, he did some really good puppy legislation. Yeah, but he locked us down like the Gestapo did.
And this stuff that's going on right now, as far as the supposed, I guess attack or, verbal attack down in Harrisburg. We did it to me election day. So why wouldn't it?
Yeah,
Of course he did.
and look at the two Democrats. You got Ryan Bizarro. That's that Mike and him got into it while they're turning in their stuff. I call bullshit on that. And then so guess what? The Erie guy's like, hey, that's a great idea. Brenton Davis hit me in the head. Bold face lie, and I cannot
Oh yeah.
wait till the truth comes out of it. And I cannot wait they put a set of handcuffs on him for falsifying a police report. But he's a Democrat. He'll get away with it.
Yeah, I was gonna say that it won't happen, but it would be appropriate. I mean, there's so much stuff going on right now in our area that the representation would be very greatly needed. I mean, obviously, you and I've talked numerously over different things, and some of the stuff that's coming out. Like next Wednesday, I'm going to be out at the Venango Township meeting.
Yeah.
At 7 o'clock, which is about the solar farm.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, that someone sent me a link to that. That sounds like a real barn burner.
Oh, it's going to be interesting, of course.
It's going to be a barn burner.
Yeah. Well, people are actually actively getting involved now, which is, I mean, it's not enough, but it's a definite start. I mean, at least when you go to these things, like what you guys went to last night.
Yep.
I mean, people are actually trying to open their eyes, take a look around and see what's actually going on.
Well, right, because the government lied to us. They bold-faced lied to us about this COVID thing. They overreacted. They shut us down. People were like, "Well, that's like the..." No, I said it's more like in the Rome times when the emperor would go, "Thumbs up, your business survives. Thumbs down, your business fails." And the government has no right to do that. I'm shocked that some massive amount of attorneys haven't sued the shit out of these people for violating our civil rights. But hey, they're Democrats. They get a slap on the wrist and there they go.
Yeah. And just continue on.
Yeah. Lena, there's a question in here in the room for you, Greg. Lena, where's the meeting about the solar farm?
It's at the Venango Township, attending the Venango Township meeting. They will be at the, I'm just reading it. It'll be at the Venango Township hall. Okay,
gotcha. You got a date and time? Help the folk out.
March 4th at 7 p.m.
There you go, Lena. You got that? Thanks, Greg. That's a great piece of information. And this is why I do what I do. This is it's a clearinghouse of people with the same thoughts. We don't agree. Greg and I, we don't always agree on stuff. I said, Greg, you bumped your head. Shank, so did you. Have a nice day. But that's okay. We can come together. We can disagree. People, it's like with Dan Laughlin. People like, Dan Laughlin, he's a rhino. Okay, I don't always agree with him.
All the time.
I know you guys. I get that. But you know what? When it comes down to election day, I refuse to vote for Jimmy Wirtz.
No,
that guy absolutely has no business in politics. All the crap he has spewed in that rag magazine that he writes for, and the hate. You think I'm bad, man? I'm a puppy dog compared to what him and his cast of cares do. And
I think that's the one thing that's missing out of what you're doing is trying to educate, not just spew hate.
No,
and it's a huge difference between the two.
That's why Brendan and I, Priority One, was be able to set this up affordably and take calls, because I want you people to call me and let them know, because everything we say is recorded. Anybody can come back and watch on YouTube anytime they want. They can come on Facebook. We're setting the stage to go to X and move things around to get to more people, because it's picking up steam. We get stats on this thing all the time, and I sit back sometimes and go, that many people actually listen to this guy broadcasting live from his dining room?
Well, I know I'm not the only one, but there's going to be quite a few people behind you, both financially and supportively.
Well, I appreciate that, because, Brendan and I, we made the decision to do this. We did the radio show, great forum, but it got really expensive really fast. I said, well, I could take that money, invest it back into, the hardware and the software and get this thing up and running. And, we've got a good following, and I do it for you. I don't do it for me. I could be taking a nap watching a movie right now, but no, I want to come in here and go to these seminars, bring this information, direct you where you need to go, motivate you, men and women, to get out and vote. 22%.
You mean everything our local media should be doing?
Oh, no, what the local Republican parties should be doing, and they're not doing shit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I decided to run for committee. That's why other people have run for committee. And we're going to kick them in the ass and we're going to make them do their job. You know, it's
I'm right there with you.
You're always at all the events, and I appreciate that. Lead, follow, get the hell out of my way. I guess I'm just an old Army guy that is just too thick to get it. But lead, you follow, you lead, get the hell out of my way. And like one of the one of the speakers last night, he's a retired Army intelligence officer.
Mm-hmm.
So don't tell me he doesn't have his shit together. He does. And they call him a election denier. They call him all these hate names, But but Hillary Clinton can say, "Oh, President Trump's a legitimate president." That's election denial.
Oh, I know. I could sit there and say the same thing even about my run, but we got to fix the problem. It's not about, like you said, it's not about me. It's not about you.
Nope.
It's about trying to do something the right thing.
For the right reason.
What little bit you hear about the news in our area, it's just one catastrophe after another.
Yeah, I was actually impressed. I really was. I think one of the news channels came out to the Lincoln breakfast. I had something to do. I had another commitment. I couldn't make it. But what was the point? The ballots, I'm sorry, the petitions were already turned in. Other than, everybody getting dressed up and looking fancy and hearing me speak, I had another obligation. I'm like, well, usually I go to Lincoln, but I wasn't going to go because I had something else to do.
Right. Well, there are some that are out there. Unfortunately, in the past, it had, being honest, it had gotten quite the older delegation is kind of what it was. Well, we need people. We need the 30-somethings. We need the family man. We got people that are in their mid 30s and 20s and late 20s and stuff like that have a young family that they care about what is going to happen with their children.
Yeah,
sitting back's not going to do it.
No, we got Matt Straborowski. Sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. Sorry, bro. Young guy, Army lieutenant. Sharp.
Mm-hmm.
He's going up an uphill battle. But if it wasn't for him being motivated by the Army, someone else would have already quit. Because I told him, I said, listen, you think Mercy's going to be a pushover? You're crazy. He's got a good fan base. He's that grip and grin guy. He shows up to all the events. He's got his kids.
He was a big supporter of mine back in 20.
Yeah, and I get that. But I said, you know what? That's great. I like Bob Mursky. I hate State Representative Mursky. Yeah, he's good with his constituents. Yeah. They come in, they take it. But you know what? I will never, ever, ever forgive them for what they did to us. They crushed us. They changed the course of America and how we do business, how we do everything, because they wanted control and they got it. And we gave it to them.
About Act 77.
Act 77, our Republicans kind of screwed that one up too, because they saw some low hanging fruit about, getting rid of the one tick party voting. I get that. But then we sold our souls for that little trinket. But then we got the mail-in ballots. Okay, fine. We fought them. Like, okay, we've got to stop fighting them. When we got to embrace them, because that's what they're doing. That is the new normal. And until we can get the Republican Party voters off their backsides and be better voters than 22%. 22%. I said it once. I said it 1,000 times. 22% Republicans came out and voted, and they wonder why I lost. Guys, I needed 5%, 5 points. That's all I needed from you, is just to get out and vote. I just couldn't do it.
So now I'm pissed. 10 people in a room and 2 of them actually felt like voting.
Right. And then they're like, well, we don't like those mail-in ballots. Okay, I get it. Did you vote? I had to pick up the kids. No. Your life and your children and their children's lives depend on what these clowns are doing in D.C. And look what I was just sitting there. I got the computer on over here. Just scanning here. Well, we're looking at another shutdown if they don't make a deal. And by God, you betcha there's some Ukraine money involved there. You betcha.
Oh, yeah. Well, and the thing is, you hear parents will say something about I had to pick up the kids. And, I see parents all the time, and just basically it becomes the bus station kind of deal. And they're running them all over the place. And I understand it. But you remember as a child when we as children were taken to the polls and actually learned what the heck was going on at a very young age. I remember standing in the booth with my mom.
Yep. Well, let me guess. That was the one where you had the handle with the curtain came by and you had the little tickers. Yeah. It was there. I get it.
That whole deal. And we knew by midnight who won. Election night announcement parties were for a reason.
Right.
Just so much of the thing. Now we don't have election day; we have election month.
Well, yeah, and I get that, but I
We
I
have to
totally
play
get
by
that.
those rules now. I understand that,
Yep.
but we got once we get in there, then we can make it a little bit more logical.
Yeah, and that's what we had to do is we got to get the right people elected so we can put the right pressure on them to change this. It's a law. It can be changed. It's not like
No,
carved
it's
in
just
stone and it's there forever. No, you're the legislators that can do that. That's
yeah.
your
We took
job.
a stupid deal on something that
Ugh,
we got a couple
stupid
little
deal.
trinkets. We got our
Yep.
you know
They focused on one item and they didn't see the big picture. Duh. And then they went
hmm
for it and now we're stuck with it. Now they're like scratching their heads like, "Well, why are we getting our asses kicked?" Because you guys gave them the candy to the key to the candy store and they can come in and take whatever they want. And now we are like, I had this we were just talking about this the other day and I said it last week. I'll say it again. It's part of the message. Sitting across the table, nice guy. I like the guy. I'm not going to use his name. He's a great Republican, and he's like melon ballots. How are we going to win? How are we going to win when the Republican Party will not get out and vote because they're disenfranchised over the last Trump election? Boys and girls, that pissed me off. And what do I do when I get pissed off? I dig in just a little deeper and dig in a little harder. And then that's the only way we're going to win this. And just like last night, the seminar we had, I was sitting there going, I said that. Yeah, I said that too. Yeah, I've said that 3 or 4 times. So I'm not the
And how
only.
many times did you ever get an answer when you start talking to somebody in the area? And I'm not even voting. It's such a sham.
Well, right. It's rigged. It's fixed. Okay. Well, boys and girls, you guess what? I
You,
understand that Erie County ran a pretty tight race, and even last night from the experts, they
hmm
said Erie County had really no deficiencies. Now they went after Lancaster. They went after all these cities. Erie County came up pretty much unscathed with the shenanigans. Now, that's when it comes to the courthouse. What happens out there on the street with harvesting
Yeah, I was
and
gonna say with
yeah,
the ballot harvesting.
yeah,
Do you
and
realize? Do
go
you
ahead.
realize that the Erie Times News ran an article showing a lady walking out of a retirement home with an armload full of ballots?
Right, which is illegal.
Right. I mean, I got it. It's a picture,
I understand that.
and yet no, and some of which some
Well,
of our locals went after it. Mike was doing pretty well, until that all fell apart.
every one of those ballots she has in her hand has
hmm
to accompany an affidavit saying that them are allowed to drop that ballot off.
Right.
Every one. You're
And
only allowed to do
they
one.
didn't. Yeah.
And I get that. But we have a Democrat sheriff. Do you think he's going to post a deputy out there and be the ballot police? Oh
Of course
hell
not.
no! He's one of the biggest Democrat disciples in Erie County. Every time a Democrat has a party, he's standing there in uniform. Every time a Democrat decides to kick an election off, he's standing there in uniform in front of the courthouse on time on
hmm
your tax dollars. But nope, nobody says a word about it.
Right.
Nobody says a word about it.
No, I know. I mean, and I mean, I've grown up here. I'm going to be 62 years old, and I was born at Hammett Hospital. I've lived here all my life, except for when I was away for college or other, activities living away.
Right?
But my parents always lived here. I grew up here, and I mean, from the time basically when they started the Transitway Mall
Ooh, you're
to
dating
now.
yourself. You're dating yourself.
Yeah, I know, but look what they've done to the city. They have a beautiful bayfront,
They've
and
underutilized it.
I remember even literally almost we got pretty heated with me and the previous mayor when we were talking about what to do with the old GAF property.
Right?
And he was determined to make it more usable for manufacturing. Now, with all the manufacturing locations that we have in this area, and all this unused property that's all over the place, why would you take the most beautiful piece of land in Erie County, or in Pennsylvania for that matter,
I agree.
and do something like that with it? I mean, and that was his position. He was, adamant about it.
I get it. No, well, it's
And
and to piggyback off of what you just said about that piece of property, we have one of the biggest hotels on the most pristine, most expensive piece of property, actual value, that pays zero taxes. Zero taxes. They don't pay no property taxes. The only thing that county does, I will agree with them that they do get a sample, a bite out of that pie, is they do have a occupancy tax. So,
right.
but it's not the franchise, it's not the property owners, it's the little guy paying the taxes so they
Sure,
can
they
be
just
tax
jack
free.
up the. You mean the one that the hotel rooms are $1,000 a night?
Well, yeah, isn't that nice? Not. Thanks for bringing that up. Nothing says come to Erie to watch the eclipse than, hey, we're gonna jack up your hotel rate from $200 to over 1,000. I was listening to Joe Natale show. I listened to him quite a bit, and they were talking. They went online to they wanted to look up how many available rooms are available. I think downtown there was like 10, and they were all over $1,000 a night. Nothing
Yep.
says, hey, come to Erie so we can just scalp the shit out of you.
Right. Exactly.
Disgusting. They should be excited that this is happening, and we should be welcome these people. Nope. But guess what? Maybe I'm just not a killer business guy. They're full.
It's okay to make a living. You just don't need to make it in one weekend.
They did. They sure did. They're sold out. So I guess I'm the dummy sitting in my living room, not having a studio like Rush Limbaugh had. And
Well, Brian, hey, I appreciate you letting me have the time to
anytime,
get that word
Greg.
out about Wednesday night, and I will be in touch, obviously, and just keep up the great work.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks for calling in. I appreciate your time.
All right, talk to you then. Bye.
See, this is what I like. I like the engagements. I like to hear from you. I want to hear your voice. I can sit here and look at my face on the screen all day long. Whoop-de-doo. But when I'm calling, you guys call in. I know you guys, and I'm watching the chat room. You guys are doing a great job. There are some great conversations in there. I'm sorry I can't answer your questions, but you know what? It'll be recorded. So anybody at any time can come back and watch what you printed. And that's what I do is after the show, I go back and I critique myself. I said, well, you mispronounced that word, you big dummy. Or I should have missed that. Shouldn't have missed that. And that's how we talk. I'm going to play a little little soundbite here from, anybody can tell me whose intro music this is?
And greetings to you, thrill seekers, conversationalists, and music lovers all across the bountiful and optimistic fruited plain. It's the Rush Limbaugh program here on the Excellence in Broadcasting Network.
There's a little print that says, Rush is the George Washington of talk show. Just listen to this. These words.
In recognition of all that you have done for our nation, the millions of people a day that you speak to and that you inspire, and all of the incredible work that you have done for charity, I am proud to announce tonight that you will be receiving our country's highest civilian honor, the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
Well, let me just tell you, folks, it's never going to be time to panic because we're never going to give up.
Never.
We're not going to give up on America.
Nope. But yeah, I just wanted to play that for you. I just really did. I was looking through some stuff and, listen to Rush Limbaugh, and I go, God, could I just please be half as good as you are and have an EIB golden microphone? But, the point of his conversation was, President Trump acknowledged his, work for the American people, his volunteering for the American people, the money he donated. He was the voice of reason. Even the Democrats liked him. Sometimes Rush went, but that's okay. We will never give up. And that is my point. That has always been my point to you. That will be my point to you. Every time I get on this headset and tune up the microphone, I will tell you, I will never give up. I will never surrender. Surrender is not an option. And how do I do that? I need your help. We need your help. America needs your help. What do? We stand up. We can't take arms against this guy in the White House. we're just going to vote his ass right out of office, and we're going to make it stink. So we have to pay attention to the cheat. We have to pay attention to the shenanigans, and we got to make sure that our local folks are voted in, because they are so important. I try to tell these people, they didn't listen to me. I tried to tell them about how important my seat was, and a lot of people just blew it off. I was just going to council meeting. Yeah, guess what? Guess what? Now they have control of county government, and now they have in control of the board of elections. Big picture, people. 1,000-foot view looking down. And I just don't understand how that just didn't get conveyed, and we only had 22% turnout rate. I mean, I was literally heartbroken. I mean, I was actually sad when I got the numbers back that only 22% of Republicans got out and voted. I've shook hands, I knocked doors, I went to events, drove my little truck into the ground, wore a set of tires off the trailer, bought a new trailer for only 22%. Okay, what's the message there? Well, the message is that we don't care. Well, you know what? Now it's a presidential race and the Senate race, and the Democrats are going to pull out every slimy, stinking, nasty trick they can come up with against Dan. You watch. They want that seat, and they want it bad. I listened to Dan. I've been to a couple of his events, and they talk about how the numbers are and how much money they know this dirty DC out of the area money will come in, and it'll be up to us. It's just like in my race. I don't care they spent $200,000. It sucks, but the point is we could have beat them, and they would have been sitting there with $200,000 worth of egg on their face, and we would have beat them if we would have got out and voted. That's all it was. I didn't have $200,000, but the race was so close. I needed 5%, barely 5%. So if you don't like mail-in ballots, go like this: fill one out and mail it in. Because that day on election day, if something happens, trip and fall. My lovely wife went out the car one time during a windstorm. The door caught her. She fell, broke her wrist. That could have been, if that would have been election day, she wouldn't have been able to really, really vote. And that sucks. So I get it. The system has been up and running a while. People are paying attention. We're all watching. If you're that dedicated guy or gal that gets out and votes, that's fine. But if you have say a mom or dad are getting a little bit on the elderly side, my mom and dad use them. They're getting up there, and they get around pretty good, but they do mail-in ballots. I voted in person at the courthouse. I was there, got her done. Nothing bad happened. Didn't get struck by lightning. We didn't have locusts. That's a great point. Sometimes you got to do uncomfortable things in order to bring about change. If we don't fight fire with fire, then we're all going to get burned. We're all going to get burned, and we're going to just keep losing. And I don't know what to tell you. And we just got to keep fighting the good fight to win. And how do we win? We just outwork them. Now, the Democrats have the same problem. Their numbers were not that good either. They were like 25%, but that much more to beat me. I think, 500 and some votes beat me. If we would have just went out and had that 5%, we would have we would have won. We would have actually won. There's a lot of things going on. I'm sitting here with Erie News now, and it's got everything listed out. Crazy times. I would have loved to have been in Texas today. I would have loved to have been down in Texas when, sniffy, creepy Joe was down there and, Donald Trump was there at the same time. Go online. Google this stuff up. Not my words. You Google it up, and you talk and you hear, you see the videos of Joe just kind of stumbling along, shuffling along like a little old man that he is, lost. Here comes Donald Trump. The Secret Service that works for him, they need to get paid double because he just walks and makes a left, and he's out there shaking the hands of the soldiers, the men and women out there risking their lives for you and I. Did Joe do that? Did Joe walk over and say thank you to the soldiers standing there? They're standing there with their M4s in full, they got their helmets, they got their Kevlar on, Walked right over to them, shook their heads and said thank you. So we have to do a better job. We all have to do better. This seminar we went to last night was eye-opening. You can go to my page. There's a QR code. You can scan it. It'll take you right to their official pages. The two of them are all over social media. They're not on Facebook though. That's fine. And here's the cool thing. After they were done speaking, went over, waited for the crowd to thin out. I wanted to do a recording interview real quick, but they were just so popular. There was no way we could get that in there. So I asked the captain, I said, listen, I'm an Army veteran. Do me a favor. Could you please call in my show? And he looked at it and he goes, Boots on the Ground, Brian Shank. I said, that's my personal cell phone number. You can call in. You can take as much time as you want. We have no clock. We can talk for an hour. We can talk for 2 hours. It doesn't matter. So he's like, I'm going to do that for you, Shank, because we need people like you. I said, call in. I said, shoot me a text. We'll set up a time and a date. And we'll go. Kim, you're absolutely right. Joe has no respect for our military. Absolutely. He barely even salutes. I know he can't do more than one thing at a time. Ryan Mazzaro accused me one time, like, Shank doesn't know what he's doing. He can't chew bubble gum and walk at the same time. Yeah, considering I was jumping out of airplanes while you were still running around the schoolyard. Nice try. No cigar. So here's Sniffy Joe that can barely walk. He can't walk over to the Border Patrol and thank them. Man, there's President Trump. Run back and forth, run back. Yeah. Gino, Grandpa Sniffy. Gino, thanks for coming by. I hear you on the Joe Natale show all the time. I guess it's one of those things you don't call my show because I'm Irish. You only call Natale because you Italians are thick as spaghetti sauce. So I see how you are. That's okay. I'll let you go with a severe warning. But this is the point I try to tell you people about these elections and how important they are. I don't want to take a lot of time beating you up about it, because you've already known this. But now what do we need to do? We need to unite. We need to come together, put your personal feelings towards somebody aside, and let's get to work. I hate to steal that one because that's Brenton Davis's tagline, but it makes sense. Let's get to work. Everyone's like, oh, look at Shank stealing Davis's stuff. Well, I'm going to borrow it. So, Gino, it's 814-873-3612. It's posted in the site here, Gino. I don't know if you're just listening and not visually watching it, but yeah, it's 814-873-3612. See, I had to shame him into calling in because the Italian guys are thick as thieves, Taglio and Taglia and Natali and all these guys. Now he's a good guy. Gino's a good, hardworking guy, self-made man. He has his own business. He works hard every day. I'll see him online. Hey, what are you doing today? Well, it's Saturday. I'm not putting a new hot water tank in. Well, that's when working folks do. That's what working folks got to do. But yeah. So if you guys have any questions, you guys have been great interaction tonight. I really appreciate you. Make my job so much easier and so much more funner. I know that's not good English. I'll hear someone say that's not the right word. I know, but it's still more funner when I have you guys in the room chatting back and forth. You guys are interacting. You guys are becoming a unit. We're coming together. Now, let's come together and let's get this mission done. What are we going to start doing here? We're going to start really pushing mail-in ballots. Well, here's the problem. One problem. I'll use myself as an example. I get up, I go to vote. Have as long as I can remember. If I fill in an application for a mail-in ballot and I vote by mail-in ballot, that's good. That bumps that number up, but then it subtracts from the actual day of election voting. It helps. And, I'm not going to be, I'm 60 now. I'll be 61 here. Soon I'll be, checking out a scooter from the scooter store. And it'll just be easier just to do a mail-in ballot. And I get that, Oh, I get it. That's, Lee, thank you. That's a great point. Stacey Garrity, she sitting in that office, Ryan Bizzaro, I don't know, must have bumped his head or something and thinks he's got enough mojo to be the treasurer for the state. What have you done? What's your experience? What makes you qualified for that position? I'll wait. I hope, I pray they do a debate. I would love to see Colonel Stacey Garrity and Ryan Puppy Dog Bizzaro do a debate. I would drive to Harrisburg to watch that one because she will clean his clock. Full bird colonel, very well educated, done a great job. And what she does, she's very, very active with her veterans. She's a colonel, retired Army colonel, was an MP, whoo. She's not very big, but I'm telling you, don't think she couldn't put a hurt down on you. And she got elected the first Republican treasurer in over 20 years. And she's done a great job sitting in Harrisburg, getting money back to the people. I'm ready to retire. I got a check from them. Are you waiting? Just sit down. I hope you're all sitting down waiting for this check I got from her name's on it, Stacey Garrity. Well, of course it's printed. $26. That $26 has been sitting in some account somewhere that I don't know where it even came from. I just got a check for. I think my wife filled it out, and I got a check. She got a check, from Stacey Garrity. Because she's doing her job. She's making sure that we, the people, are taken care of. Her constituents, doing a good job, and getting the money back to us that's owed to us. It's not their money; it's our money. So and I get it. So Ryan Bizzaro does one of the slimiest things that I can think of, which I'm not disappointed. He calls her Insurrection Barbie because she's small, blonde hair. I think if I was a woman, I would find that offensive. That a guy with his reputation wants to call women Barbies. I think I would be offended. I'm not a girl. I don't self-identify as a girl, but I got to tell you, if I was a woman, I would find that offensive that he, with his reputation, calls women Barbies. He calls a woman that's a full bird colonel, United States Army, served overseas, POW camp commander, commanded troops, sacrificed her family to go make sure that her country's safe, to a guy that sits out and lives off his family name. Really? And what qualifies you that you were a state rep, basically zero anything he's done in office, but he wants to be the state treasurer? Yeah, folks, send this guy packing. And then he's got the audacity to run for treasurer and his state rep seat at the same time. Because that tells me, and it should tell you, and it should tell the voters, he knows he's not going to get elected as treasurer. And he's playing the safe card by running for his state seat. So he's playing both sides of the field. That's what Kyle Faust did. He sat in this District 5. When he ran for controller and he ran for county council, thinking that he would, if he didn't get one, he'd get the other one. I think I just missed a call. I'm sorry. Whoever it was, call back. I apologize. I had the other screen up. So that tells me he knows that he doesn't have the guts to make a decision to say, "Hey, I'm running for state treasurer, and I'm gonna put my best effort forward." Nope, I know I'm not gonna win, so I'm gonna play both sides. Now, here comes this guy Micah. I've known Micah for a while. You know, he's very active in the party, and he decides to run. You know what? I give him my oh, here's Gino. Hey, Gino.
What do you say, Mr. Shank?
I say it's good to have you on the show, you know, and I won't be Joe Natale and cut you off in 3 minutes because you're right up in front of a commercial.
Well, that's cool. Hey, no, kind of backtrack a little bit when you were talking about how Republicans don't want an early vote.
Yeah,
And
well, they don't want to do anything but vote in person, and that's fine if you get up and go vote on election day. But the math shows that only 22% got up and voted on election day.
well, it may be like you said, they're disenfranchised, or some people, and well, I think that's the guy that won up in New York to replace that Santos that got booted.
Right.
I think they had a snowstorm, and my guess
Yep.
there was people like, or there'll be enough people to go. They don't need my vote.
The other
I
guy will do it. Don't worry
Right.
about it.
I think there might be some of that, and I think people fear that there's tampering with that. But I tell you, I mean, if you don't know you're going to be there, anything can happen. You can get sick.
I
Uh,
agree with you.
have your car, or just it's a family emergency that I know that, but these are the times we live in. I like more. You should be there. You vote, and that's it.
Totally
And the
agree with you.
and voting should end at 8 p.m.
Right. Well, that was
That's
the
like 3
under
weeks
yeah,
later.
that was Wolfie Boy playing with that loose and free while he just kept moving the date, moving the date, moving the date. They're not going to do that shit anymore. Trust me. You know, we're wise to them. We're paying attention. The lawyers are got their knives sharpened up. That won't happen again.
I think that, I don't know. We'll see what happens, but I'm thinking here in Pennsylvania, you might get some shenanigans with, we're going to wait and count, the ones that are still coming and all that. I think they're going to try. But I
Yeah.
really, I mean, no one was held accountable. They changed those rules, and they didn't have, that was supposed to go through, I think it was the legislature.
Right.
And
You're right. And you know what? They got over on us. We weren't paying attention. They already had this game well figured out. They knew the mail-in ballots were coming, and they knew, okay, Wolf was dirty as the day is long, and he had his henchman Shapiro, ready to be the Gestapo and come in and do all this bullshit. And that's exactly what they did. And they got
yeah,
away with it.
and it is what it is. I mean, they're, um, unfortunately, there's more of them than us, I think. And that's why I think we're the independents, hopefully, will vote, that they do vote and vote wisely and not just stay home. That's what my fears for Pennsylvania. I
I
think
agree.
independents that are the ones that are going to sway the election, especially here in Pennsylvania. But we shall see. I think Trump's going to win.
I totally agree with you 100%. And then, that's why we went to the seminar last night. And these people gave you the numbers. The numbers are there. We're getting better. We're getting traction. We're doing better with voter registration. That gap between the D's and the R's is closing. We're catching up because sniffy, creepy Joe is making my job and your job easier because that man is going to be hidden in the basement. They won't let him speak. He finally goes to the border, which is a bullshit PR thing because they know that the Republicans are sharpening their knives and we've got them. We have got them dead to right. I don't care what the Karens say.
How they can blame this on Trump?
Oh, but that's how they got. Everything's Trump's fault. Everything's insurrection. Everything's a white supremacist.
Biden's all saying, well, it's because I had to fix Trump's. Trump was at the wall, scheduled more wall to be built. As soon as Biden got in, one of his first days, his first things as the executive order, not one more foot of wall will be built.
Right. And how's
Well,
that Trump's fault? The material was there. The contracts, the labor, the concrete was all sitting there ready to go. He comes in, executive order. I'm going to kill 30,000 union jobs, which I can't understand the union guys following this guy. And then he shuts the wall down. Then 3 years later, when we have a crisis on our hands, oh, it's Trump's fault. What?
Well,
And they're believing him. That's the thing that pisses me off is they're believing him.
I mean, I think that when you say the unions, I think maybe the leadership might be singing the praises of what Joe Biden wants to hear, but I don't think, the boots on the ground.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, they shut down the Keystone Pipeline, 30,000 union jobs, good paying jobs. I knew a guy that was a welder that was up on that project, and he goes, "Oh my God, I just lost $60,000 with the swipe of a pen. 60
And-
grand, bam, gone."
And you will get people that will say, well, it wasn't going to benefit us. It was going to be for Canada. It was going to be for this. It was going to be for that. More oil from, I don't think Canada's our enemy. I'd rather buy oil from here, from them, from people that are peaceful than these, what's going on over there in the Middle East. And, Mike Kelly was on with the aforementioned Joel Natale.
Yep.
And he said something, and they were a little skeptical of what he said. He was kind of, I don't know, it was almost like he tipped a card
Right. And
about,
if
a
you,
war.
right. If you really look at the conspiracy, you really look at follow the money. That's always the big key. Follow the money. That oil is still being shipped from Canada. How's it being shipped? Via rail, via tanker car. And who owns the railroads? Who owns the
War.
tanker cars?
War.
Right. They don't want a pipeline because that would wipe out the whole train shipping oil down from Canada. It's out there, boys and girls. The facts are there. Stop listening to the media. Dig this out yourself and stop being what the media wants you to be told. Insurrection. Everything's an insurrection. That's how they got me. Shank was part of the insurrection. He started Photoshop me.
There, we saw you with the bullhorn.
Yeah. I know you were standing there. I get that. I was on the news. Local news had me interviewed right here in Erie. But no, according to, Pretzel and the Democrat Gestapo, they photoshopped me and had lies in advertising on social media that Shank created an insurrection. Did I burn the courthouse down? I didn't burn the muffin shop down. You guys with Black Lives Matter did. I didn't.
Oh man, what a mess that was! And people forget, this was just a few years ago.
Only thing I would disagree with you, just a hair on this one. The media, the Democrats remind you every day. Look at Illinois. Look what happened in Illinois today. They took Trump off the ballot. How can they do that? They cannot do that. They've been proven in court they can't do it. But here's Illinois, Democrat haven, and you know what? Talk about interfering with an election.
Jeez, yeah, exactly. But I think in a way, and don't get me wrong, let me finish. I think it's good that they do that because all they're doing is giving free press to Trump, and
I
a lot of
agree.
people. It's just reaffirming to a lot of people that may not want to vote for him. Like, what did this guy do that was really that you guys are trying to just take him out?
Well, right.
What did he do that was so bad, that's so hard to prove, and the thing is, Joe Biden beat him once. 81 million votes, the most than any president ever. Why did he beat him once? What are they afraid of?
Well, they know that he didn't really win.
Right. They know.
Let's be honest here. A friend of mine, I won't mention his name. He's like, you guys in your election tonight, how much more proof do we need to prove to you? How many people have been busted? How many people have, got a slap on the wrist? I had a soundbite that I wanted to talk about the election stuff. And this guy was a guy that got actually busted, harvesting ballots, and the Democrats threw him under the bus. He became a Republican. He became an informant for the Republican Party and showed him exactly how he did it. But no, election deniability. You guys are part of the conspiracy. No, and insurrection. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer, but my understanding is the Congress is the only one that can actually charge somebody with that.
Nobody's been charged with insurrection.
That's my point.
Not one.
And they're mad. The Democrats are so butthurt that Hillary Clinton didn't get in, And personally, you talk about somebody that should be in jail for what she did. She had those deaths on her hands. I don't know how her and her doubles sleep at night, knowing that they let those people die over there for no reason.
It's amazing what the people that whatever you want to call them, the elites that are in politics, either behind the scenes or politicians themselves, that the stuff that goes on, it's all, like you said, connect the dots. The money eventually, they always want to give away for money. Why? Then all of a sudden you find out their kids are working for these companies in these foreign countries. The money's just circling right back. Oh yeah, it's gonna come right back. Yeah, to your hands. Why don't we take care of, we have our own problems here.
That they created with this invasion from the south of the border, and now we're in election time. Oh yeah, 1 minute they're saying no, the border's secure, Next minute, it's like Joe Biden's like, well, it's Trump's fault, it's not secure. Wait a minute, you guys just said through your crazy talk lady that the border's secure. So we know it's not. It's bullshit. We know it. You know it. The voters are going to know it. They're going to come out in droves. I don't care if I have to come pick you up in the Hummer, I'm going to get you to vote because I'm tired of beating my head against the door and people not paying attention. If you need an application for a ballot, I have a case of them in the Hummer. I'll drop you off 5.
Yeah, I commend you on that. And I think that this is going to be not this, I know people have said that this is going to be the wildest election. We thought the last one was wild. This, by the time we get to November, is going to be nuts. I really think that things are going to go haywire because it's just
Oh,
the
I
left
agree.
uniparty, not just the Democrats.
Oh, I agree with you,
I
100%.
really think that there's good and bad on both sides. We can't
Absolutely.
where the Republicans is a save all, but
We're not.
it's anything. They go into their room like they took Hunter Biden. They do make mishmash, whatever, and then what time we golfing today? You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, that's
It,
one of
it,
that's one of the headlines on Erie News now is Hunter Biden answers to oversight committee in closed door deposition. You mean he did first time he got a question, he didn't sashay his ass out of it like he did last time? You and I did that to a Congress, we'd be in jail.
yeah, we wouldn't be getting preferential treatment like this kid.
Oh, you kidding me? We would.
But that they tell us this doesn't happen, but here we are seeing it happen. It's I don't know, but
It's
like
like
I said,
it's like a train wreck in slow motion. You got to watch, and you're appalled by the whole thing. And this is, I know we talked about this before. But we're going to talk about it again. There was a gentleman in our history, ended up being a president, was thrown off the ballot. He was thrown off the ballot. Who was it? That's the question for tonight. Very famous guy,
wasn't it Lincoln?
Abraham Lincoln. He was
Yeah.
thrown off the ballot. He ended up winning, and it ended up in a civil war. How about that? I'm not saying, I'm not implying, I'm not threatening, I'm not. Yeah.
I crossed my mind. I'm telling you, this is going to be wild. They can't do it now. They just showed a montage on. I caught a clip of Jesse Waters and all the left channels going crazy because the Supreme Court pushed off that immunity
Right.
case. They pushed it off, and Jesse Waters is like, it's like when Trump won in 2016, and they're all
Right.
crying, boo-hoo, and it was the end of the world. It was the best 4 years we've been in business since my dad passed in '97. Those were the best years that we've ever had.
I get it.
Those four, I mean, soon as he got elected, the stock market took off, and all of a sudden people were blowing money. It's like, when was the last time you couldn't buy a house in Erie because somebody else beat you to it
Right.
and
Or
offered
overbid it.
more than the house was worth or what they were asking for? I've never seen that. I'm not saying
No.
it never, but I've never seen anything like this. And there's still a shortage.
I
And
mean, I
all
totally get it. I see I don't live in a big ritzy neighborhood. I just live in working middle class GE folks. I see a house come up for sale. 2 days later, sale pending.
Yeah, you really don't see if you see a house for sale and it's there's something really, really, really wrong.
Or it just
And that
didn't, or it just
got to be
didn't get a good
honest.
public.
I
Yeah, it
mean,
didn't
there's
have a good
like
realtor. No, I
it.
totally get it, but no, I mean, thanks, man. I appreciate you
Hey,
calling. This
I'm
is,
gonna hog up all the time. Maybe
yeah,
we could have Dave call in. He was pushing me tonight. He's like, call in,
he
call in. I
was.
didn't know I got your cell number. That's why when you read it, I'm like,
Yeah.
all right,
Dave
we're good.
Dave
All right,
called. He
hey,
was a listen. I came online. I said, "Hey, I didn't even have a chance to say, good evening, Erie County, man." Boop. Dave was already calling in, man. He was fired up, ready to go.
oh yeah. Well, I was on the treadmill. He's making fun of me. He goes, call in. I'm like, well, I'll be a little late. I could do my, I got to do my stress out, and I can't watch too much of the news because it
Well,
gets, it's when you understand and you can see the bullshit like you say
right.
you just get like you're like, man, what the hell are we doing here?
I
We-
totally get it.
Imagine if we were working together.
We
I
drive
mean,
each
we're
other
always
nuts. We
we
would
were
because
work,
I'd be bitching about this, you'd be bitching at this, and then hammers would flying, and you'd yell at me in Italian, and we get nothing done.
right. Yeah, there you go. There you go. But hey, all right. Well, hey, I'll listen to the rest of it, and you have a good evening, sir.
Thank you, Gino. Appreciate it. Andrew Graves, thanks for coming by. I see him out.
Peace.
He just jumped in
Peace.
the room. Peace out, brother. And this is exactly why I do this.
Do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America.
All right. I just had to throw some Kid Rock in there. I love that song. I'd love to play the whole thing, but the problem is it's got some F bombs in it, and I don't want to get dinged anymore. Man, Facebook has been dinging me hard. So I've really had to curve back on my on my posts because they put me in Facebook jail. Um, so I've been playing it cool. So I don't want to play the entire Kid Rock song because it has in there, and I don't want to I don't want to get in trouble, and I don't want to lose my Facebook Live status because then I can't do the show. So they've got me. They really 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 got me. So I've been having, I've been doing my due diligence not to f bomb, and let me see if I can find this sound bite real quick. This I don't know if I put it on my post. That was Rush Limbaugh. That was that guy. Pittsburgh. What a joke in Pittsburgh. I really feel sorry for the people in Pittsburgh. This guy is he is a talk show host, and he brings on some really good points, and it's really, really quick, but I want you guys to listen to it.
America needs to get over this bullshit concept of thinking Trump is the enemy. Trump is not the enemy. The enemy is outside of the U.S. They are such scared little pansies worried about this guy thinking he's the enemy. And then all of a sudden, when a World War III starts, you're like, holy shit, it wasn't really this freaking guy. At least he loves America and was safe when he was around. The enemy's outside. Does it really need to get to that point for people to get a little bit more comfortable to say, what the hell did we get sabotaged about? Convinced this guy was a bad guy for 50 years when he thought about the lifestyle of the rich and famous. Rappers wanted to be Trump. Kids wanted to be Trump. There's a reason why mainstream media hosted a show called Apprentice for 15 years. There's a reason for that. Why? Because it works. People wanted to buy. And then all of a sudden, one decision and mainstream media made you think this guy's a bad guy. I think people have to get to a point right now to realize the enemy is within the U.S. There's no question about it. We got a lot of them in the establishment side that are trying to take this country, this great country down. People are starting to realize they don't want World War III. They just want a good economy. They want to have a job. They don't want to be gaslit. They don't want to be manipulated. They don't want to be brainwashed. They want to be free. They want to go watch a good movie without worrying about what's going to happen with these movies. They want to watch media and just give me the news. What the hell is going on? Stop telling me like bullshit that's a lie for 3.5 years, and then you move on.
Man, I love this guy. This guy, I'm telling you, if it's on my Facebook page, if you want to follow this guy, he is no sense, nonsense, boots on the ground. Do I love Trump? Absolutely not. Do I think sometimes some of the crap he talks about is he just goes off on left field? Absolutely. I've said this once. I said it 1,000 times on my show. Is I would love to say, hey, pick up a phone. Hey Don, Brian Shank, Erie, Pennsylvania. Put the Twitter account down. focus. We've got your back. Just run the country. But he likes to go, off there and off he goes. But that's okay. I mean, that's fine, and we put him in office because we didn't want any more Clintons. We saw what Clinton did. The only thing Clinton did that I liked is the fact that he was able to balance the budget, got the military waste under control, but then he screwed it up with NAFTA. NAFTA was the beginning of the end of U.S. manufacturing. We told them, we screamed, we bitched, and we complained, but you know what? We got it anyway. And hey, I just got a trophy. I got 100 posts over here. So, you guys make my job easy. And I got a trophy. I'm excited. Now, this one I'm going to queue up. This one takes a couple minutes to get through it. But this guy, Craig the ballot stuffer, feels betrayed by the Democrats because he got busted. So here we're going to go. Like I said, this one takes a couple minutes.
Fraudulent ballots. People say you've collected. I have no comment. I would appreciate it if you get up and move away from me. Get out my face. So I have to lay one of you bastards down.
That was Craig Calloway threatening to lay down Johnny, something I've wanted to do for years, but HR won't let me. Craig spent time in prison for bribery and sexual blackmail and was just indicted for rigging elections. He is a ballot harvester's ballot harvester. He's even an FBI informant. Go figure. Craig's been a political operative in New Jersey for decades, working for Democrats most of his career. He was accused of voter fraud before, but wasn't arrested until he started working with Republicans. And now he feels betrayed. So he's telling Republicans the secrets of harvesting and is open for business. Craig the Stuffer spoke at a conservative fundraiser this weekend. Listen.
Craig Calloway will never, ever be a Democrat again in life. When I started making the transition into including others into my work, that's when the Democratic Party turned on me, and it's been a battle ever since.
Craig better be careful. Black Democrats switching parties could be dangerous.
My lawyers have told me, be very, very careful to what you say because it can and will be used against you.
But Craig can't help himself. And he told the Republicans, if you want to beat a Democrat, you have to harvest like one.
The genie is out of the bottle. I don't think we're ever getting it back in. So we have to, you have to use, some of the things that the Democrats use. When you lose by a few votes, don't say they cheated. Work harder and outdo them.
Is Craig saying Republicans need to out-cheat the Democrats? We're not sure. But we are sure where Craig thinks the money should go, to him.
The problem that the Republican Party has is they spend a whole lot of money on traditional way of voting. It's not going to work. You're going to lose. You're going to continue to lose all the elections. If you continue to spend all your money on people or on the consultants who are just bringing out the same votes, you're going to continue to lose. You got to add to the equation.
If we're hearing Craig correctly, we think we agree. We're not saying Republicans need to start stuffing. We're saying since 70% of the country voted early or by mail last election, Republicans need to win that game. Stay within the spirit of the law, as Craig so eloquently said. We just want to add to the equation. That's not against the law, is it?
I'm not a lawbreaker, but I just want to get things done for the people, and sometimes the rules and the laws get in the way.
When you start a sentence with "I'm not a lawbreaker, but," I understand why Craig's lawyers told him not to say anything. The rules and the law do get in the way. That's why we have them. But I probably shouldn't say but. Craig isn't the only one letting laws get in his way, though. Outside of Houston, 5 of America's top hip-hop stars were all registered to vote in the same small house where none of them lived. Drake, 50 Cent, Chris Brown, Trey Songz in The Game were all registered to the same Texas address. It was news to them and news to us. How'd that happen? Our elections are so secure. Federal voting law loopholes make it easy for anybody to register whoever they want, wherever they want. All you need to know is the person's name and birthday. You can find it on Google. As a matter of fact, tomorrow I'm going to register everyone on the 5 to vote for my address. So some prankster registered 5 celebrities to a random house in Texas, and nobody knew until a reporter caught it. Imagine the prankster requests absentee ballots. That's 5 votes for Beto. Sorry about that, Senator Cruz. You need to get more Craigs in Texas. So if a prankster is getting away with shenanigans, imagine what a professional harvester can pull off. Your move, Republicans. Tomorrow.
All right. Like I said, I wanted to bring some verbiage in, not my opinion. People are like, oh, Shank just makes this stuff up. No, I don't. This is being reported. This guy went to jail. So, when they say, oh, the most secure elections, those are 81 million votes were all legal, I call bullshit. And just like these guys last night, that's what they talked about. They talked about all this stuff that is going on, that's getting caught, and the numbers don't jive. The numbers just don't match. And, but again, if you say this, you're going to be a election denier. You are a white supremacist. You're a deplorable. You are an insurrectionist. So I'm going to wind this thing down. I want to personally thank, we got a lot of people came in tonight. I appreciate that. Rich Chapman, I've known Rich longer than I want to say I know how long, because it's been a long time. Stan, Jeremy, thanks coming in. Stan, we appreciate all your support. You and your mom, we love you both to death. So yeah, and that's why we do the show. I was a little skeptical doing a show not on Thursday. I'm sorry, on Wednesday and put it on Thursday, but I wanted to go to the seminar. I wanted to see these people. I wanted to see what they had to say. I agreed with about 90% of what they said. I don't agree with them 100%, but that's okay. We're allowed to disagree. And the biggest point that they made was, we Republicans need to stop the inner bickering, stop the fighting, come together, unite, and push these Democrats out. Push this agenda out, because we right now, you and I, everybody here, this border thing is going to affect us for generations and generations and generations. If Trump doesn't get in there, and he'll keep his word, they will be deported, because these countries, like what's happening with China, they have to fly them to South America, and then they're transported up through Mexico to the border. They literally can't get in through Texas. They're coming through California. And Newsom and all his wackadoodle Democrats out in California, oh, this is great. They're being suppressed from a communist country. Nobody leaves China. Nobody leaves China without permission. Remember that, boys and girls? Because I'm telling you, if you don't think that's not the truth on what they do in China, you're crazy. So these people, most of them were men, military age, men, all nice tight haircuts, sneaking in to California, and California has their arms wide open. We have the power to change this, and we are going to change this. Stephanie, you're right. Let's go, Brandon. You're absolutely right. Yeah, so we can do this too. All right. I had to get one of those last in there. I want to thank you all for coming out tonight. I appreciate it. I know it's not a normal Wednesday night. Next Wednesday at 8 o'clock, we'll be back. Like I said, I wanted to go to the seminar. I mean, we all need to step up. We all need to do our due diligence. We need to do the research. We need to get out and vote. We need to get out and vote, and we need to get out and vote. I can't stress it. That's why I lost, is because we didn't get out and vote. I got a friend of mine. She got angry at me about that. She goes, "You're calling us lazy." Well, I've asked you. I've said please. I said thank you. I said let's get out and vote. We need these votes, and we need these votes. And only 22% of Erie County Republicans got out and voted. And if you don't think that the Democrats aren't watching these numbers, you're crazy. They're watching them. They're exploiting them. They're pushing these mail-in ballots. And everyone's like, "Well, it's a rigged system. I got 5 out. I got 5 of them in the mail." No, you got 5 applications for a mail-in ballot. The Democrats send them out. The Republicans send them out. PACs send them out. They're just applications. "Well, I got an application for someone who doesn't live here." Shred it. Call the election office. But see, that's not always the answer, because people send them out, not just the courthouse. Other entities send them out. So use them for kindling, recycle them. If you think it's not legit, call the courthouse, ask for Tanya Fernandez. She'll get you an answer. I mean, if she doesn't, I'll buy you lunch. She loves her job. She does what she keeps her word. Had the pleasure of working with her for 4 years and gained her trust. We gave them the tools they needed. We got them some new technology to open up envelopes and make their job easier. And if you've been really paying attention, they have results right around 11:30, and that's pretty good considering all the mail-in ballots. And they won't. The rules. We asked, "Hey, can we open them? Can we open up and start scanning the mail-in ballots before 7?" No. Legislators said no. That's not the rules. Well, for once, they actually enforced the rules when it would help us. So thanks, Stephanie. I appreciate that. Thank you all. I don't even know what time it is. Oh, wow. We've been going for an hour and a half. Not too bad. And that hour and a half was because of you, because of the good callers. I thank you all personally. Makes my job easier. Because then it gives us more things to talk about. And the people that are in here that are on our team get to know who that name is on the computer screen. Everyone that called in tonight, I personally know. I consider them a friend. I consider them a colleague. We've had arguments. We've had fights. We've had adult beverages. So that is what we're here for. That is why Brenda and I do this. That's why we do it. For you, for us. The highlight of my day was, and this is another reason that I really do this, is Brenda's son has a son. I call him grandson. I had the most enjoyable time with him today. You know what it was? He was getting sleepy. He sat in my lap, put a blanket over him. He slept for an hour and a half. I haven't had that much fun for over 20 some years when my boys were little. That's why we do what we do. And I know Gina's got a great family, young family, kids going to college, growing up. We have to have a place for them to live. We have to have a safe place for them. And I'm telling you, this invasion needs to stop. And there's only one way it's going to stop. It's Donald Trump. And that's the cold hard facts. So I'm going to hit some outro music. I'm going to say thank you personally. And I'm going to, tell Brenda, thank you for making sure everything works good. And all the technical stuff works well. And, it is definitely a team. We appreciate it. So on that happy note, welcome to the jungle. All right, everybody. Good night. Thanks for coming out. We appreciate it. See you next Wednesday at 8 p.m. sharp. Like always, I want to personally thank you for coming out. Make sure you give your family an extra love and hug because you know what? We're only here for a quick minute.